Hi guys, Natural Janelle here. There are a lot of people who have not seen YouTube videos, a lot of new people joining YouTube every day. So I want to do a series where I'm just going back to the basics of explaining everything to someone who's never seen a natural hair YouTube video. So this first video in the series is going to be about how to go natural. To go natural, all you have to do is just stop relaxing your hair. And then from there, you can decide to either big chop or to transition and gradually cut your relaxed ends. Transitioning could last, anywhere from 3 months and then you chop, big chop, or you can do a long-term transition like I'm doing that lasts, I would say a long-term transition would be about where from 9 months to 2 or 3 years. And I think the first thing that a long-term transitioner should know is that you mentally need to just know that it's going to be difficult. And if you know that going into it, you'll be less likely to quit or to give up. Definitely have to change the relaxed state of mind that you had before. With a relaxer, you combed your hair every day and you could comb it dry. But when you're transitioning, you can't do that. You can't comb your hair when it's dry. If you do, you're gonna incur some breakage. Before you start your journey, you need to go ahead and just say to yourself, I'm gonna be patient. I'm going to be gentle with my hair and I'm going to just take my time and just go ahead and prepare. Treat your hair gently. You all know how you feel about relaxed hair. When you were relaxed, you wanted your hair to be smooth, no frizz, silky and flowy and moving. And you need to go ahead and just realize that if you're going to go natural, your hair is not going to act the way it did when it was relaxed. It's not going to lay down for you like you want. You're not going to be able to pull a comb through it easily at all. It's going to be kinky and coily and curly. It's going to stick up in places that you don't want it to stick up. And if you go into this journey thinking that it's going to be that way, then you won't be shocked and you won't be trying to change it. And I think that that's the problem that a lot of people have when they're transitioning is they keep expecting it to be the way their relaxed hair was. One thing that helped my mentality and helped the way I thought about my hair was I was on YouTube watching all these different videos and seeing the different, the way the hair looks. When you see all of the different women with their natural hair, you get used to it and it becomes a normal way. Whereas before we were used to only seeing just relaxed women. You got used to the flat, laid down hair, frizz free. And so, if you want to transition and you're serious about going natural, definitely have to change that mentality. There's different ways that you can long-term transition. You can use weaves and wigs. I know that a lot of people, instead of wearing their hair out and trying to blend the two textures, they prefer to just wear a weave or a wig or something like that. And that's perfectly fine. I think that's great. And I actually plan on doing the same at some point. I plan on getting some extensions, but that's another video. But they're very good for your hair when you're transitioning because you're keeping your hands out of your hair. There's low manipulation, so the chances are less likely for breakage. You just got to make sure you maintain and keep it moisturized. Make sure you're cleaning your scalp and all of that while you have the extensions or the weave or the wig in. And also I want to say that you don't want to get small braids or small twists. You don't want to get micros because that can damage your hair. It actually puts a lot of stress on the hair at your scalp and can really pull out your edges. So you want to stick to medium-sized or large braids or twists. My favorite is to actually just wear my hair out. If you're going to long-term transition, I recommend doing styles that blend the two textures. As your natural hair is growing in, you have two different textures that you're working with. You have that straight, relaxed ends at the end, and you have the curly, wavy, or tightly coily hair at the top. What you want to do is blend in the two textures. And there is a line of demarcation that separates the two. The line of demarcation is actually where your natural hair, your new growth, meets your relaxed ends. And that demarcation is very weak. I don't suggest flat ironing it. A lot of people, that's what they would rather do. They keep their hair flat iron the whole transition. But heat isn't good for your hair at all. It pulls the moisture from your hair, and when your hair is dry, that causes breakage and damage and split ends, and therefore defeating the purpose of your long-term transition. And breakage is going to cause you to have to bit chop. I do that, but I do it minimally, like once every 6 months. You can do whatever you want with your hair, but I'm just recommending. These are just recommendations. If you're not going to be able to use heat to blend your hair, then the next best way to blend your hair is to use natural styles. The naturals, they do twist outs, they do braid outs, they do flexi rod sets, perm rod sets, roller sets. Those types of things where you don't have to use direct heat on your hair. And Bantu knot outs is another style that I believe transitioners should try. So the next step that I think is highly important when long-term transitioning is keeping your hair moisturized. And this is one thing that I learned in months 3 through 6. I incurred breakage during those months. And mainly, I wasn't moisturizing my hair. I was combing while it was dry. And I was rough. I wasn't gentle. And so I did incur some breakage back there. So to minimize the breakage, keep your hair moisturized. The relaxed ends can actually get waterlogged. They can actually be over moisturized. They don't need as much moisture as your new growth does. Naturals, they have to moisturize their hair every day for the most part. But as transitioners, since we do have the relaxed ends, we don't have to moisturize our hair as much. It's one of those things where you just need to pay attention to your hair and know your hair. As far as my hair, I moisturize my hair about every 2 to 3 days. And now, since it's been almost a year since my last relaxer, I have a lot of new growth. It's in the back, it's mainly all natural. So I do have to moisturize my hair every day just because I have that amount of new growth. So you just have to base it on your hair's needs and what's going on with your hair. The next thing I would recommend is to get to know your hair type. Now, there's a lot of fuss in the hair community about hair typing and how you shouldn't do it, but I think the benefit of knowing what your hair type is, you can know how to take care of it. If you have tightly coiled hair, a lot of times you need a little bit more moisture. If you have a looser curl pattern, or if you have straight hair, you don't need as much moisture, and that's important to know so that you can take care of your hair and you're not getting breakage. Knowing your curl pattern will determine what type of products. People with really loose curl patterns might not need to use shea butter, which is so thick and heavy, but someone with a tightly coiled curl pattern, shea butter is probably the best product for them. As far as knowing what products to use, it's good to go ahead and figure out what products work best on your hair. Now, in the beginning of my transition, I just continued to use the products I already had, the Relax products. I was using a lot of Motions. In fact, I think I had the whole Motions line. I was a Motions Relax girl. I was using their moisturizers, I was using their conditioner, and it was okay. But as I learned about other products and as I learned about my natural hair, I began to try new things. And I think at some point I started to learn what my hair liked and what my hair didn't. So it's trial and error. I say stick with the products that you have for now while you're learning your hair and while you're getting used to the transition. And as you begin to learn your hair and as you begin to get used to the two textures and dealing with transitioning hair, then I think that you can begin to go ahead and start trying some new products out and getting some new things to test on your hair. I don't trim every 6 weeks. I don't mean trim on a regular basis like that. But I do mean I'm always paying attention to my ends to make sure that there's not a lot of split ends. I do search and destroy. The search and destroy method is just when I just look for some split ends and then, I clip any dead ends that I might see. It's not like a blunt just trim across. But I also trim probably every 2 to 3 months as needed. I did do kind of like a mini trim in the back because I did incur some breakage back there and I wanted to even it up. but I notice that I have less tangles when I keep my ends trimmed. And also our goal is to go natural anyway, so you want to keep chopping the relaxed ends off as your hair is growing in. I can't stress enough, you want to treat your hair as if it's natural right now. If you want a long-term transition and you want to minimize heat, go ahead and realize that your hair is not going to act the way it did when you were relaxed. You want to nurture your natural hair from the beginning. Keep it moisturized. Be gentle when detangling. Keep it deep conditioned. And that's one thing I should have mentioned before. When I mentioned keeping your hair moisturized, I deep condition once a week. And at the beginning of my journey, my hair was so damaged from my relaxed journey that I was deep conditioning twice a week. And I was doing protein treatments as well because my relaxed ends were damaged. So I wanted to strengthen my hair with the protein treatments. What works for one person might not work for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's hair is different. Your hair is unique to you, and you actually have to do the work and take the time to figure out what works best for your hair. I spent a whole year watching YouTube videos and trying to find people whose hair looked like mine, and I even watched videos of people whose hair didn't look like mine. And I just found common denominators amongst them. I found tips that were important for natural hair in general. For instance, all natural hair needs to be moisturized. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that you can gain from these YouTube videos. But as far as specifically what products and when you need to trim your hair and when you need to deep condition, that's stuff that you need to learn on your own. You need to pay attention to your hair. Your hair will tell you and communicate to you. This can be an emotional journey. We care a lot about how we look. We're used to having our hair look a certain way, and it's a big deal. It really takes boldness and courage to, go against the norm and to have your hair the way God created it. One of the reasons I am going natural is because I had never seen what my hair looks like without any chemicals, without any altering. I wanted to see how God had created my hair. And that's the reason that I'm going natural. And I think that that's a reason that a lot of people are going natural. And so don't look at someone else and expect your hair to turn out like theirs. Your hair is unique to yours. Like I said, it's going to come out the way it comes out. It could be loose curls, could be straight, it could be, tightly coiled. You need to learn how to love your hair the way it is and the way it grows out of your scalp. Just expect it to be that way, and it makes things a lot less stressful and a lot more peaceful. You're willing to accept the way it is. You're not trying to force it to be a certain way. And also realize that the long-term transition takes time. It takes patience. Eventually, you're going to master your hair. When I started my transition, I was new to it. I had never transitioned before, never seen my curl pattern, so I didn't know what to do. But as the time has gone on, I've learned so much. I've gotten used to doing my hair. I've gotten used to the way it looks, the way it is when it's time to detangle it, and I got better. And just know that the same will happen to you if you don't give up in this long-term transition. You're going to get good. You're going to master your own hair, and you're going to master how to transition. And so just fight through that tough time, fight through that knotted hair and the tangles that you have. It's difficult right now, but as that new growth grows in, it's going to get easier and it's going to get better. So I hope that this channel will be a place for anyone who's new to YouTube, anyone who's new to natural hair and transitioning. I hope that this will be kind of like a safe haven and a place and a source of encouragement. And you can feel free to send me any questions, make any comments, and help each other. Stay encouraged. You guys can do it.